Hey, Enedina. So sorry if I'm butchering your name. Diana sent it to me and I just wasn't all that sure how to pronounce it, so I hope I'm at least a little bit close. We are here today to do your true calling spread. So let's see the messages that are for you. Spirit, I'm asking you to please use me as a channel to help Enedina find her true calling. I ask that you shine your divine light and wisdom through to me, to Enedina, so she can find her true calling and purpose. Please only let your divine wisdom and light shine to this reading. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. Spirit, Enedina, true calling. Okay, so for your true calling, you did get the Fool card. The Fool card is a card that talks about a leap of faith, basically. It's asking you to throw your inhibition to the wind right now. It's more than likely that you've already set out on a journey or that you're considering setting out on a journey very soon. And it indicates that you either you will or it's encouraging you to get into the energy of the Fool. So the energy of the Fool is very childlike. It's very, like I said, throwing inhibition to the wind. In the original card, it's a guy and his dog, and he's just setting off on an adventure. The sun is behind him, which is always a good sign. And you see he's kind of like almost walking right to the edge of a mountain, but he doesn't seem to be afraid about that. It's more than likely, like I said, so if you are not already in that energy, it's definitely encouraging you to get into that energy, to just, most of the time I feel that we do know, we have a pretty good idea of what we want to do. We have a pretty good idea of where we should be going next, but, we may be afraid. We may worry about what other people are going to say about it. We may think, wait a minute, what's going on here? Like, what can I do about this? And like I said, the Fool energy is very much like getting rid of all of that, getting rid of any negative self-talk, getting rid of anything, and just kind of setting off, going on your own personal quest and doing what's right for you. And then it's interesting because the Fool is the very first card in any tarot deck from the major arcana, and then the World is the last card. And you got those cards right next to each other. So like with the Fool's energy, it's like, you know, you start off there, you know, you go through this journey, you set off not really knowing what's going to happen, but you just kind of take the leap anyways, and you decide that you're not going to live in fear anymore. And then the last card is the World, and that is, you know, it's a card of travel, it's a card of completeness, it's the card that you finished your cycle. So your reading kind of literally just goes from beginning to the end. And I think that it's kind of calling on you to get into that energy, to take the leap to whatever it is that you're trying to do, and just knowing that you will have success with that, because it was your soul's true calling, and then how you're responding to it right now. So, like I said, if you haven't already gotten into this energy of, you know, just like a confidence that what you want is going to happen, right? Just kind of knowing that what you want is pretty much already yours, and just kind of setting off on that with no fear. You did get the Magician card rooted down by the Three of Swords for to kind of symbolize a card of what you're not doing right now, or how you're not responding to what's inside of your heart, what's inside of your soul. So the Magician card is all about getting in tune with your higher self, setting off to make your dreams come true, right? So like you're manifesting, it's like making vision boards or making a lot of plans, you know. It is another kind of like beginner card, so it's kind of like you're just starting to take that initiative, you know. You're kind of just really starting to get into your groove, and you know exactly what it is that you want, and so you're kind of starting that off right now. It is rooted down by the Three of Swords. So, you know, the Three of Swords is, it's kind of one of those things where like it has a lot of different meanings, so you kind of have to like apply it to your situation. But it does talk about, you know, getting a clear head, getting an open mind, getting into a state of complete self-awareness, in order to get to the heart of any situation that you're talking about. It does say that at times, you know, we may get into this feeling maybe because of past situations, or maybe because of things that happened in our past, or past failures, past letdowns. We tend to get into an energy. It could be in love, it can be in career, love of ourselves, anything. We kind of tend to get into a feeling that things are just always going to go wrong. Or you apply your past situations to your new situations, and so it kind of keeps you stuck in this energy, that things won't really happen for you. I do think it's interesting, if the Magician is rooted down by the Three of Swords, it's almost like you have this really incredible ability to manifest what you want. You have the world at your feet. You are ready, or you should be getting ready to kind of set off on this path and take this journey, right, with the Fool card. But your past may be holding you back here. I think that if you are thinking about doing something, if you do have something set in your mind that you want to do, I do think, you know, it could be with art, it could be, I mean, really anything. Just, you know, the Magician is just kind of someone who's creating his own world, you know. He's creating his own thing, and he kind of just, he knows, you know, he intuitively knows. But with this, it might be that your mind is blocked right now because you may be thinking about the past. You may be thinking about past hurts. You may be thinking that you can't really move forward with anything. Or that if you are trying to move forward on something, your thoughts are often blocked by any past situations. So it is, the rest of the cards in the spread so far have kind of been inviting you to move on with that, start on a new journey, and let it go, in order to see a success somewhere. And it's good because then you have how you can overcome this block, right? So it's kind of what's blocking you, and it may be, you know, your past, your fears of the past, your fears that history might repeat itself, which is stopping you from really fully manifesting and taking off on this journey. But the Two of Wands that you got of how you can overcome this it's a card about stepping into your personal power, right? So the Two of Wands, it talks about future planning, progress, you know, getting a spark of inspiration. So maybe look out this month or very soon for just something and it just kind of hits you, right? I think that that can come truly with a lot of introspection, a lot of confidence in where you're going and what you're trying to do, and just being open to growth. I've been talking a lot this month about surrender. Just surrendering completely to whatever higher power you believe in, even if that's yourself. You know, we don't all have like a belief system. I don't know what yours is. But I do know that at times um, when we make the decision to kind of, you know, get out of this energy and, you know, kind of really just surrender to something, you know, with no fear, and just kind of have it inside of ourselves and know that it's what we're going to do, and know, and not really let anybody else tell us, or not let our minds tell us, right? Because sometimes our minds are our own biggest enemy in what we're trying to do. And so I think that using that Two of Wands energy, you know, and having, you know, just opening yourself up, you know, definitely opening yourself up to growth, making sure that you have the right decisions, that you're making progress, and that whatever's in your heart, you're just kind of following it, you know. That is kind of like your first card there, what the Fool is. It's just kind of like, you know already what's in your heart. You know your soul's true calling, and it's kind of calling you to make a decision and take that leap and just go for it and be happy about that. For how you can honor your soul's true calling right now, you did get the Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups, it says that right now you may have a lot of options, and you may not be able to organize yourself enough to make the right choice. It also says that you may also just not be indulging yourself too much in what you want to do. Like maybe your cups are just all over the place right now, you know, like you have a bunch of eggs in one basket, or a bunch of balls in the air, you know, whatever whatever phrase we want to use for that. So it says you might be overwhelmed by your thoughts and choices. You may not know where to turn. You may feel overwhelmed right now. You could be kind of spending more time fantasizing about what could happen, or fantasizing about every road that your path could take you on, and you're not that focused. Okay, so then it says, yeah, so it says to kind of just lay back a little, you know, indulge in yourself, opt for a more laid back, you know, kind of lifestyle. It says, you know, don't really beware of falling into the trap, you know, of taking on too much, or not being realistic about what you're doing, and yeah, committing yourself to your plans, and not to avoid any challenges. You know, I think that kind of going along with the rest of the reading, you know, because like the rest of the reading is kind of talking about you setting off on a journey. It seems like a very focused energy, because, you know, like the Fool, like I said, he may not know where he's going, but he knows where he wants to get to, and he just kind of sets off on that. You have the World card talking about completion, you know, just kind of setting off and getting exactly what it is that you desired, and then, you know, the Magician talking about manifesting what you want. So I think that the Seven of Cups is, you know, more of a warning, you know, that if you do have an idea of what's inside of you, if you do know what it is that you truly want to do, make sure that you're not letting anything from the outside distract you. You know, make sure that you're not taking on too much right now. Make sure that you're not kind of, you know, kind of getting into this energy where you think that you might want to do one thing, but then you're not 100% sure about it. So then you kind of just fall into this pattern of almost disillusioning yourself, you know. And so for your final card, it's just kind of like a message from the universe overall, or a message from your higher self. You got the Six of Swords rooted down by the Death card. The Six of Swords, it really talks about a new perspective, recovery, travel, taking a new journey, whether that be actually physical or mental. really leaving the past behind and beginning to think more positive about your life. You may be in a position right now where you just kind of feel troubled. It says that you are definitely moving into calmer waters. You're moving ahead or moving away from circumstances that were uncomfortable for you. Um, it says that it's also linked to readiness to communicate and exchange ideas. It suggests that you have to merge different perspectives. And if you decide to do that, if you exchange ideas, to go into it looking at the other person's viewpoint. And so, I don't know if maybe you are thinking about venturing on something with a partner, or like whether that be business, love, anything. Um, but it is a very big energy here of, just kind of answering what's in your heart right now, answering what, maybe there's something that you've been thinking about, maybe there's something, an idea that you once had, and who knows, like maybe it didn't work out, or maybe people didn't believe in you, maybe there was someone holding you back from doing that, maybe it was yourself holding you back. There just maybe wasn't a lot of confidence in that, so it's just kind of telling you, moving forward, you can definitely try to find yourself in that fearless energy of the Fool. And if you do that, you can really see the beginning of a new cycle. And the world will be at your feet, if it is, like I said, something, if it's a creative venture, just whatever you're thinking, whatever you're manifesting, definitely I would suggest, dropping anything from the past, which could be true in any situation. I think sometimes we tend to talk about what we want. We tend to talk about where we might be going in life, but we act or think in a way that is completely opposite in helping us get what we really want, right? So I think that your overall energy and your overall reading, is just kind of telling you that, now would really be the time to be fearless. Now would be the time to unblock yourself, and start, getting in the energy of planning, start thinking about the future more, and just really kind of having this confidence that it's going to happen, and that overall, any cycles that you felt stuck on, any past hurts, anything, there's definitely a lot of indication that it's time to let those go now, so that you can really hear what's inside of you. I am going to pull, I'm feeling called to pull, a card from the angel deck here. So these are oracle cards. It's kind of just acts as a clarifier. And so let's just see if we get any more energy here, from this overall reading, or any more guidance. But yeah, I would definitely say, like I said, for the most part, I do feel as though whatever idea you have, whatever it is, that you feel called to, again, maybe a little bit of introspection, maybe just some alone time to kind of really, really think about it, and then just set off and do it, It does feel like you're getting the go-ahead here, and you did get a lot of confirmation that, you can indeed succeed with this. Okay, so you got this card. It's the little angel card. And it says mastery. So, okay, it says Sananda. The evolved name of Jesus signifies he who has ascended into a higher dimension of awareness. Through this card, Sananda invites you to ascend with him into the heart of love. In doing so, you can rise above the obstacles and challenges you face. And though the physical world will never be free from obstacles, from a higher perspective, you will see that they are not the solid and flexible structures that you initially imagine. You think that you exist in this physical world, but in reality, the physical world exists through you. For you are in essence light, and you have the power to transcend physical reality and raise awareness by connecting with the internal light and love inside of you. Close your eyes and imagine yourself as a body of light. Imagine all around you as pure light. Let each thought float away as you drift into the inner peace of your soul. To view your life from your soul's perspective is true mastery. So I think that just kind of looking at that card, it kind of reaffirms some of the energy that was coming up. The magician, it talks about you just being a magic person, a master manifester. But then it also said about letting go of things, so it kind of like really roots down these cards. Um, Listen to yourself, right? Listen to your inner calling. Listen to what's inside of you, and you have it in you. We all have it in us. It's just that a lot of times we may be afraid, or we may just think that it won't happen for us, or there's kind of this thing where it's like, well, who am I to like dream as big as I'm dreaming, or how do I know that this will happen for me? Well, how don't you know? Like, how do you know that it won't? It could. I think that any effort that we put into anything, we do have that power inside of us, and it really does seem like you have that in you, just from this reading alone. And I think it's a really beautiful energy, and so I just want to encourage you to go for what's in your heart right now. If you don't fully know what that is, take some time. Like I said, take some time to yourself, and journal, meditate, think about what's really inside of you, and just go for it. You're definitely getting the green light, with both of these to just, kind of go for it. No fear. Plan it out a little bit, and then just take off and see where it leads you. Okay? I hope that this helped you a little bit. And take care. Thank you so much.